Order.
I'm surprised to see
Order.
the member in the House.
The member's time has expired.
Mr. Speaker.
Gareth Hughes.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou kia ora. I rise to support this bill and to offer a positive transport vision for Aotearoa New Zealand, in contrast to the National Party. Mr. Speaker, we support a modest increase in the fuel excise levy, signalled well in advance. We think 3 cents a year over 3 years is realistic, given when you're in the lower half of the OECD fuel excise level. Selling out, what we're talking about is giving New Zealanders a clear signal, which is to invest in efficient vehicles, invest in innovation like electric vehicles and hybrid, invest in better public transport. Problem is, of course, the government's not backing this up. No, because the government is still stuck in the 1960s. Jerry Brownlee still has a 1960s approach to transport. Jerry Brownlee, or as I call him, New Zealand's Colossus of Roads, he is keeping spending the lion's share of the transport budget on just 7 new motorways. It's unbalanced, it's ideological, and it's fiscally reckless. Because what the government wants to do is borrow to build $12 billion worth of only 7 roads. They've got poor business cases. Half of them have got negative benefit cost ratios, no treasury analysis. What they're doing is not spending any extra money on public transport infrastructure investment. They're closing the regional rail lines. And this is the problem that's led to the situation why we're having this bill passed under urgency now. Because less people are driving, we've got traffic down, petrol up, public transport going through the roof, because less people are driving, less people are paying the fuel taxes. So the government has to keep on borrowing an extra $1 billion and keep putting up the fuel taxes to keep spending the money on the roads, which we know Kiwis are driving less on. So I've got this vision of Jerry Brownlee with his arm out the window, screaming down the road to nowhere, pedal to the metal. He doesn't know where he's going. He's too embarrassed to ask for directions. Now, Bill English in the back sheet should speak up, because New Zealand can't afford to be making decisions like this. Mr. Brownlee, you should ask for advice, get a map to a better future. I mean, Bill English should speak up about this, because the issue, the government's made a big deal of the surplus, but what we should really be looking at is a current account deficit, 5% of GDP, going to be 6.5% soon. We're only second to Turkey at the moment in terms of the OECD. We're on track to be the worst performing current account deficit in the OECD by 2017. We're going to be borrowing $17 billion in deficit, which requires selling off the assets or borrowing more. We've got the second largest deficit, current account deficit in the OECD. So what we're doing at the moment is losing, as New Zealand was a household or a business, we're losing $10 billion a year. We're on track to lose on track to hit $208 billion net overseas debt by 2017. The problem, of course, is no more motorways, especially ones where half of them have negative benefit cost ratios, are going to help with these significant structural economic problems. You know, what we should be doing is focusing on the tradable sector, focusing on innovation, on competition. We should be focusing on reducing electricity prices through things like New Zealand Power. We should be looking at helping out businesses, supporting KiwiBank and the finance sector costs. We should be supporting the manufacturers, hemorrhaging jobs at the moment. Yet what we know from the government's $12 billion spend on just 7 roads is the jobs estimate is each job's going to cost between $500,000 and $1 million per job. Jobs are an important question, and roads and motorways aren't the answer to that question. We should invest in the right infrastructure, things like a second internet cable, things like better public transport, not these uneconomic motorways that the government has to borrow to build. Look, the government is borrowing billions to pick winners in the motorways. This is like Julius Vogel in the 1880s borrowing millions of pounds offshore to build bullock tracks. It's looking to the 1960s. It's not what smart economies are doing at the moment. And that's where the Greens are offering a positive alternative, a positive solution, because we want to give Kiwis choice. Things like a CBD rail link for Auckland. Now, Auckland's expected to grow by an extra 1 million people. 75% of the country's growth will be in Auckland over the next 30 years. And what we know is the CBD rail link is going to transform the public transport infrastructure in Auckland. It's going to unlock the potential of the CBD. It's going to massively help the development of the inner city, where we know most of the productivity gains are. This is going to unlock the city of Auckland. It's going to take 15 million kilometre vehicle trips off the road by 2040, according to the Auckland Council. It's a great plan. It's a positive plan. This is where we should be investing in smart infrastructure. So while we support the modest petrol fuel excise levies increase contained in this bill, what we don't support is what the money is going to be spent on. We've got a smarter vision for this country, and I believe New Zealanders stand behind us in it. Kia ora.
Speaker.
Simon O'Connor.
Very much. Mr Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote is called for. Would the clerk please conduct a party vote?
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
31 votes opposed.
Green Party.
11 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 votes opposed.
Maori Party. Mana.
1 vote in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
Order. The members in the chamber, he should vote himself. Brendan Horan.
1 vote opposed.
Any other votes?
Order. During the voting process, silence will be maintained. The ayes are 73, the noes are 39. The motion is agreed to.
Customs and Excise Budget Measures Motor Spirits Amendment Bill, second reading.
The Customs and Excise Budget Measures Motor Spirits Amendment Bill is set down for committee stages forthwith. I declare the House in committee for consideration of the Customs and Excise Budget Measures Motor Spirits Amendment Bill.